Okay, welcome back to part 2. Last time we talked about was while loops. Just want to review a little bit with while loops and a couple other things that I missed in the last video. Today we're going to be talking about for loops. Okay, and again, remember there are 4 types of loops: while, do while, for loops, and there's a for each loops, which will be discussed later. The do while is actually not part of the AP exam. The while is, and the for is, and the for each loop. So let's get started. Again, we talked about the while loop. Again, loops are classified 2 different ways. One, by their test. If the test comes first, it's called a pre-test loop. And if you remember, with the while, in the last video, the test was at the top of the while. So that was a pre-test loop. When we talk about for loop, it's a pre-test loop. Loops are also classified by how they run, how many times they run. In the while loop, you remember the one where the user typed in a number like -999 to stop the loop? That's called a variable loop because we don't know when the user is going to type in -1 or -999 to stop the loop. And it varies. It could loop 5 times for one person and it might loop 10 times for another person. When we talk about the for loop, it is a fixed loop, okay? And it's going to always loop the fixed amount of time. So if it loops 5 times, it's always going to loop 5 times. So whatever you set it up to loop for, it's going to loop that many times all the time. Okay. And again, we talked about the 3 parts of all loops. Initialization, priming a loop. That's where you give a value a starting point. Terminating condition and updating. Now you'll find that all 3 parts exist for all 3 loops. Okay. And again, x equals 0. Again, even though I use single letters for PowerPoints, do not use single letters for your programs. And x is less than 10, x plus plus. Those are our 3 parts. It's just a simple logic. I'm going to fly through the while loops and let's get on to for loops. I'll skip the do while loops for now. Okay, so for a for loop, the loop structure that executes a set statements a fixed number of times. That's what we call a fixed loop. Okay, it's also a pre-test loop, and this is what a for loop looks like. If you look down here at the bottom, we have for int I equals 0. Now here we declare I as int. Now this is the one time you could declare a variable not at the top. Okay, and I just acts as a counter. Okay, and we're going to set this. This is actually the initialization portion. Okay, and I is less than or equal to 10, that's where we terminate. And I plus plus, that's where we increment. So those are your 3 parts. And we use begin and end symbols. And here we have sum plus equal I. Okay. So again, initialization. And notice a semicolon separates all 3 sections of a loop. Okay. And basically the same logic for a for loop. We come down here, we evaluate the condition. If it's true, we do our statements. Then we come back around, check our condition again. It's the same as a while loop. If it's false, we jump out. Okay. For loop is functionally equivalent to a while loop. Basically, all for loops could be written as while loops, but not all while loops could be written as for loops. So we'll discuss that a little bit later. But if you have a for loop, you could rewrite it as a while loop, and just no difference. Okay. So let's get on to the code. Let's escape out of here and let's take a look at some code. I already used some of the variables from last video. Here we have a for loop. I go ahead and I went int I equals 0. That's the initialization portion. I set I equal to 0. Now I could put I up here and just left the int out here, and I'll show you a thing about doing it this way. I have I less than 5 and I plus plus. Those are my 3 parts. Notice I don't have a begin and end. I could put a begin and end. If you're only using 1 line of code, you do not need a begin and end for a for loop. A while loop, you basically need a begin and end because one of your lines in a while loop, is the increment and decrement. So if that's all you're doing is increment and decrementing, there's nothing else you could do because that's your 1 line of code. For loop, we increment right here. And that's part of our declaration for our for loop. So if we go ahead and run this, You notice it's 10, and so basically all we're doing, we're starting I at 0, and I at 0 is less than 5. Now this only works the very first time, this section here, it initializes I to 0. 0 is less than 5, so counter gets 1, so now counter is 0, 0 plus 0 is 0. I plus plus becomes 1 after we circle around again. Now we come to this section, is 1 less than 5. Notice we do not come back here to reset this to 0. So this only works the very first time you enter a for loop, and then after that only these two would work. Okay, so this becomes 1, we add 1 to counter, this becomes 2, we add 2 plus the 1 to counter, and 3 and so forth, and this keeps a count, and that's how we got 10. So it's basically 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. It doesn't ask 5 because once I is 5 less than 5? No, it's not, so it jumps down here and does this system.out print line. Okay. Again, we tab in for our counter. Okay. If you have more than one line of code, always use the begin and end symbol. Okay. That's a must. Okay. I could actually leave a section out here. Let's say I want to leave this out. Oh, let's go back before I do that. What happens if I go ahead and output I? Oops, went too far. Let's output I real fast. Let me talk about this first. And let's run this. I get an error, okay? And if you remember, look at the error, and this is blocking my build output. It says, cannot find symbol I, but I is declared right here. But I cannot find I right here. What happens is, since I declared I is only valid between this begin and this end. Okay, it's not valid. See now, int age, counter, and sum, it's valid from this begin to this end. Okay, whereas int I was declared for the for loop only, and it's only valid for the for loop, not outside the for loop. This system.out print line is outside the for loop. But I could fix that easily by declaring it up here if I wanted to. And go I equals 0, because it's always good to initialize it. And notice it should run. Okay, and it works. And I is 5. Okay, because once I hits 5, it jumps out. And again, since I initialized it up here, I really don't need this section here. I can actually delete that section, but I do need the semicolon there. And I go ahead and run this, and I should get 5 again. Okay, and if I want to, I can also increase I plus plus here instead of here. So if I want to delete this section, I can. I still need a semicolon there. And it works the same way. I get 5. Now notice, basically you have a while loop. All I have to do is change this to a while I is less than 5, and this is basically a while loop. Okay, so all for loops could be written as while loops, but not vice versa. And so we know if we have a for loop, we could rewrite it as a while loop. Again, this will keep looping until I becomes greater than 5, or equal to 5 or greater. Okay. And this keeps repeating code over and over. And remember, the begin and end does not need to be there if it's only one line of code. Okay. Again, you could put if statements in here if you want. You could do a lot of things with loops. If, let's say, counter equals 4. Let's go counter plus equals 8. So we'll add 8 to counter for some reason. Okay. And again, I like to keep spaces right here. After that, that tells me this I. Since it's only one line of code with that if, I don't need begin and end. If I have more than one line of code, I will need to begin and end symbols. Okay. So that is basically for loops. Again, we do have our counter, or here we increment by 1. Okay, this acts, we're always increasing I here, and I is a variable, so this is our accumulator right here. We keep a running total or running sum. Okay, And you don't have to have accumulators and counters, but definitely need a counter. But accumulators, if you need a total of something, if I'm doing a classroom of students and I'm summing up all their test scores, that will be an accumulator. If I count how many kids took the test, then that'll be the counter. And I can figure out the average of the class by simply adding up everybody's test scores divided by how many kids took the scores. And that's why loops work pretty good for that situation. Basically, that is with the for loops. Okay, again, 3 parts. Don't forget, this is probably the only time you should use a single letter. And it doesn't have to be I, it could be whatever letter you want. That's basically the structures of the loop. So again, I gets initialized to 0. I don't need it up here anymore. Remember, I only exist in here from the begin and end of the for loop since I declared it here. And its only purpose is to count through this loop. Okay, again, you definitely want to use words when you're doing variables. Int age tells me it's an integer, plus it tells me it represents someone's age. This could have been int count or int counter, int sum. By doing the int in front of it tells me it's an integer memory location, plus the name tells me what it actually holds. Just try to stay away from single letters. It's just bad programming. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up for loops. Let's go back to here, see if there's anything in here. Again, you have your initialization section, terminate, increment, the 3 parts. This is considered a pretest. The test comes first, then we do the code second. Okay. Again, you don't have to always increment by 1. Here, over here, this statement here, we have int num equals 100. We're going from 100 to 0, so we're actually counting backwards on this one. So num minus equals 5, so we're decreasing 5 each time through this loop. Okay, so loops don't always have to count up, they could count backwards if you want them to. Okay. These are just some examples of a for loop. We can miss sections if you want to. You can miss both sections. Again, but the sections will have to occur somewhere. Okay. So that basically wraps up for loops. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I know it's kind of fast. Only give me 15 minutes to talk. Again, you can go ahead and trace a loop. Okay. So that wraps it up. Have a nice day. Email me if you have any questions and or ask questions in the classroom. Talk to a fellow friend, classmate or something like that. So talk to you later. Bye.